In this video, I'm doing a free Google audit for one of my students. He landed a client. This client, I believe, is some type of supermarket, grocery outlet type of client. So I'm gonna go through it and audit it the best I can. So I don't understand any of the words on this page because it is in Norwegian. Um, he is located in Norway, so we're gonna go with that. All right, so I'm just gonna go through it, and hopefully you guys can pick up on some things on how I look at campaigns, how I optimize it a little bit better. All right, so first and foremost, I have it on lifetime here. I like to look at lifetime and then cut it down to 30 days, 7 days, and just see what has been converting the best, and things like that. All right, so as you can see here are all the search terms, but if we want to get more exact, I would go click into the campaign. I would go into keywords. I would click on search terms. All right, so here are all the search terms that people are searching and finding his ads. Okay, so as you can see, here it is. As you can see, here is the most popular word here at 75 clicks. He got 269 clicks total out of 877 impressions, 30% click-through rate, which is pretty good. That's very good, I would say. But it doesn't show that out of these 75 clicks he got any conversions. So I don't think he has the conversion set up properly, as you can see here as well. No conversions, unless he got 0 conversions, which would be pretty bad. Let's check if he has his conversions in place. So here on his website, he has the sign up conversion. He is missing the call tracking conversion. Okay, so you gotta make sure you gotta go into hit this, and you gotta click on phone calls. You gotta set up that phone call conversion to see how many calls your keyword is producing for you. All right, so that is why he's not seeing any conversions, and because no one signed up, obviously. If people did sign up, then he would see a conversion under that keyword. And then let's see, where do I want to go? Let's go into keywords. No, let's go into ads and extension. So as you can see, I'm still here on lifetime. Conversion straight zeros. Let's go ahead. Let's add some columns here. Here are the columns that I recommend you guys add. Let's see here. We're gonna add impression absolute top, impression top percentage, conversions. We can leave that as is. Attributions. Let's see here. Call details. We want to see the phone calls that are coming in. Message details, custom values, and that should be good. So let's go ahead and we're gonna save that. Save and apply. Alright, so from here we could see a little bit better now. He's not tracking any conversions, so that's why we're having 0. So out of the 127 clicks, I don't know how many leads you're able to get. I mean, hopefully you were able to produce a lot of leads out of the 127 clicks. These are relatively good numbers here, and then as you can see in this ad right here, it is way below these 3 ads. Out of these 4 ads, as you can see, this ad click-through rate is producing the lowest. It's only at 2% compared to all these other ones. So that tells me, it's got a good amount of impressions, 128. The next ones are in the 300s. I would pause this ad right here just because now I know that this ad isn't getting a high click-through rate. So this is an ad that you could see that it's not working. So test with other ads. I would pause this one, create a new ad maybe, or maybe just stick with these 3 ads that you currently have. Impressions, you can see that he does have high impression percentage. Out of these impressions, he's in the 90s and 85s, which tells me that's a reason why he's getting a good high click-through rate percentage here. His ad is appearing near the top of the page, about 90% of the time. But like I said, you're flying blind if you're not tracking conversions. So you gotta make sure those conversions are in place, so that way you know which ad is producing leads and then which keywords are producing leads as well. So these 3 is good. I would pause this one and create a new ad. Let's go into extensions here. So extensions, looks like he has extensions set up correctly. Everything seems to be approved. I can't read any of this, so which is fine. So I'm gonna go back into ads. Let's look into okay, so that's the final URL. Paths. So definitely you need to set up paths because whatever your your client is selling, we want to add more keywords in here because when you add keywords into the paths and things like that, it's going to add to Google's quality score. So you want to include as many of your keywords into the paths as well. So if include some of the keywords in here. All right. So but everything else looks good to go. That's the only thing I would do is add the path number 1 and path number 2 to make your link more appealing. From here, let's see. Let's go down to keywords here. All right. Again, like I said, because you're not tracking any conversions, we don't know which keywords is making money for us. All right. So let's go into columns here. I'm going to change some things in your columns. All right, performance. We want to add. We always want to look at impression top percentage and impression absolute top percentage. I'm going to take out policy details. Final URL. You don't need to look at that either. Just going to take up space. All right, conversions. Good to go. Attributes. I like to look at estimated top of first page bid because then it gives me an idea of how much we should be bidding to be appearing at the top of the page. Competitive metrics. I like to look at, which one do I like to look at? I like to look at search loss top impression rank and this one and that one. All right, so I like to look at search impression share, search loss impression share, rank, and search loss top. Actually, no, not this one. Just loss top. I only want to know, what I'm losing out on the top of the page. So that one, and I breathe search top impression share. We'll add that anyways. I'm not sure if I have that. Phone calls, definitely. We always want to see our phone calls. Let's look at quality score and landing page experience as well. All right, so let's go ahead and save that. All right, so here are our keywords. So as you can see, this I would say these keywords here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are top 5 keywords. Maybe even these that goes down here, I would say. But like I said, I can't tell because we're not tracking conversion, so we don't know which keywords is producing leads. As you can see here, this one is below average, so it's probably not going to produce as good numbers, but we don't know that because there's no conversion. So it's very important that you add conversions to your track conversion. So, all right, click-through rate, you're getting a pretty good click-through rate percentage here. That means you're getting relevant keywords and things like that. These are pretty broad keywords. So hopefully if you are using broad keywords, you want to make sure that you are using a ton of negative keywords because broad keywords and you don't have any negative keywords, which is a problem. So the next thing I would do is go into search terms, and here are all the search terms, right? This is everything that people are searching for. So what I would do is find anything that is irrelevant, click on it, and then add as a negative keyword. So right here, we want to add a lot of negative keywords, especially because you are using broad keywords. So your ad's gonna be popping up for a whole bunch of things, and you might be getting a lot of irrelevant clicks. So hopefully that's not the case, but that may be a big reason, and that is something that you need to do to optimize your campaign. All right, so number one, you need to obviously track costs, track conversions, add a lot of negative keywords because you are using broad keywords, and then figure out which keywords is producing leads. All right. So impression top percentage and impression absolute top percentage. Let's see here. So out of these impressions, you are, you're pretty much appearing at the top pretty much every time you are number one. So what you could do is you could actually lower the max cost per click. So it doesn't need $25. And I see that you have an enhanced CPC going on here. And what that's going to do is going to actually raise your bidding. So you might be paying a little bit more than 25 here. So I would probably turn this off. Enhanced CPC, it doesn't look like you need it. And then you could also play around with lowering your max cost per click. As you can see here, estimated top per bid is about 1.3. It's in NOK, so it's in Norwegian money. So as you can see here, you might be overpaying for a lot. Let's see what your average cost per click is. So your average cost per click is about 4, 11, 12. So you know you don't really need it to be at 25. You could probably really reduce the max cost per click here. I like to stay well above the average cost per click and well above the estimated top of the page. So that way, because these numbers are available to everyone who's running ads, they're probably going to set their bids to be around here. So you always want to be well above. So I mean, with this, like for example, for this keyword, I could put it down to like maybe 15. 15, that's still well above 4, well above 1. And you're still going to get great results because you're bidding so high and you have enhanced CPC on. That's why you have nearly 100%, 100% of your time your ad is at the number 1 spot here. And your search impression share and things like that, we'll get to that later, but your ad for this specific keyword is pretty much at number 1. You spent 330 NOKs here. So hopefully this, you can really save a lot of money just by reducing the max cost per click and turning off enhanced CPC, and see how that goes. Like I said, you don't need to appear at the top 100% of the time. You just need to max out your daily budget at a reasonable cost. All right, so I would really reduce all the max cost per click for all of these keywords because you don't need to be bidding that high, especially because estimated to be at the top of the page isn't even that much. All right, so go ahead, you could do that. Search loss top impression share rank. That just means how many times your ad didn't appear at the top, and it's relatively pretty low because you are appearing most of the time. 97% of the time your ad is at the top, right? So definitely the reason why it's so high is because you're bidding so high. So like I said, reduce those numbers, and that way you're not spending as much. All right, so and then make sure you add those negative keywords. All right, so next I'm gonna go into settings here. Okay, so I see as you could see here, manual CPC. Like I said, you can turn off enhanced CPC. If you only want to turn on enhanced CPC, you could test it and see how it works. If you're not getting conversions, and if you're not getting enough clicks and things like that, then yeah, you could turn that on. But I'd never turn this on personally. I like to just look at it and change it manually. So yeah, I would turn that off. And then let's see here. So these are all the locations that you are targeting. I would go into location options. Let's see here. Do you have it set up properly here? You want to target people in these locations, and yeah, so that's good. That's all that looks good. I wouldn't change anything there. Search partners, I see that you have included Google search partners. So this is that's something that I do include when I do start the campaign, but after a while you want to test obviously and see if it is producing results. So let's see here. It doesn't have that. Usually it'll tell you if you are getting conversions for your search partners, but I guess it doesn't have it. I guess it doesn't have enough data to provide that to you yet. Let's see if it has it over here. Nope, nothing yet. Okay. So we'll go back to that later. Yes. All right, so let's go back here. Let's go back into settings. So search partners, usually you want to test to see if you are getting leads from there. No goal selected. I don't think this makes a big difference, but usually I go with leads. Languages, Norwegian. So I would just turn that off right there. Enhance CPC. I don't think you need that. and then lowering the cost. Next, let's go into, so in locations, as you can see, it would be really helpful if you were tracking conversions, because then you would be able to see which location is providing the most leads. As we could see, this location is providing, or these top two is I would say these top two is providing us the most clicks. So I don't know if you're getting conversions there, but it looks like you're getting the most clicks from here. Down here, if it's irrelevant, I mean, if your client does serve to these people, then you can include it. But the most important thing is to include conversion tracking. All right, so ad schedule. Looks like you run 24/7, 7 days a week. And I mean, if your daily budget isn't being spent up, then yeah, you can run 24/7. Like, let's say if your client has a low search volume and you're not filling out your daily budget every single day, then yeah, you can run 24/7. But if your daily budget is being spent up every single day, you're getting enough clicks and things like that, then we want to optimize for which hours, which days is getting us the most leads. So I would go into days. And as you can see here, Wednesdays looks like you got the most clicks and things like that. And so if you were tracking conversions, you would see which days is getting you the most conversions, and then I would turn off the days where it's not getting conversions. It's pretty straightforward there. Whatever days you're not getting conversions, not getting leads, or the cost per lead is very high, then you can turn it off for those days, so that you can increase your daily budget for a less certain amount of days, right? So for example, if you're running 200 a day here, that's 1,400 for 7 days a week. If you only ran it for 6 or 5 days a week, then you'd be able to increase your daily budget. All right, I'm gonna go into hours. Hours, you can see since you're running 24/7, this would tell me if it's even needed. Do you need to run 24/7? I would look at the hours. So let's say when the cutoff time is for when you are getting clicks, right? So it looks like the cutoff time would be like 7 p.m. I mean, you're getting clicks at late at night as well, as I could see. But let's see here, between the hours of 1 to 5 a.m., you're not getting any clicks. You got some impressions here, so it did pop up, but you didn't get any clicks. So that tells me, you don't have to run your ad 24/7. If you were tracking conversions, it would tell you which times is getting, most of your leads, and then you would just focus on those hours, right? So if it's between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., that's when you're getting most of your leads, then those are the hours that I would stick with and just run. And then next I would go into devices here. So in devices, as you can see, tablets, computers, mobile phones, you're getting the most clicks. You're getting a high click-through rate, your average cost per click. This is how much you've spent. And then if you were tracking conversions, it would tell you, which device is getting the most leads, and then I would focus on that. Typically, tablets doesn't get many leads. As you can see, it didn't get really many clicks here. But on tablets, if you do see a low conversion rate, it's not producing leads, or your cost per lead is very high, what you could do is you could decrease it by 90% or 95%, because the quality of the leads on tablets and the cost per click for tablets shouldn't be as high as computers or mobile phones if it's not producing any leads. So what I usually do for my campaigns, just for my client, and it's going to be different for every client, depending on your niche, is what I do is I really want to focus on mobile phones, because mobile phones do typically produce the most leads. So I normally leave this normal. For tablets, I would decrease it by anywhere from 80 to 100% if it's if the leads aren't good, or the cost per lead is very high. So I would actually decrease tablet, and that's probably what you could do here as well. So that way you're not paying the same amount for tablets, for computers and mobile. And then for computers, the cost per lead is typically a little bit higher than mobile phones. And so I don't want to pay the same amount for the cost per click for a computer as mobile phones. So what I normally do, and like I said, it's different for every niche. My niche is very competitive. You can decrease it anywhere from 10 to 25%. So that's your judgment, your call. But the main thing that you really need to do here is to start tracking conversions, track phone calls, and seeing which mobile device, which keywords, which ads is producing leads. So those are the main things I would do. And then I would do the same thing for this campaign to this campaign. All right. And then recommendations. Here are the recommendations that Google is going to make for you. Obviously, it's your own judgment to make it. Don't let these recommendations, make you want to apply it, because most of the time Google only recommends you these suggestions is for you to spend more money on their platform. All right. So for example, here your ads isn't as prominent. I usually just dismiss it. Responsive search ads, you don't need that as well. You can just dismiss that as well. And I also want to make sure that you know that after 14 days, if you don't dismiss these recommendations, then Google is going to automatically apply it to your campaign. So you want to make sure you dismiss it, or you go into your MCC account and then turn off those recommendations. I do teach you that in the course. So go in the course if needed. I don't want to go into your go everywhere through your campaign here, but those are my suggestions. Those are that's what I would do, and I think that's going to optimize your campaign by a lot. And definitely those negative keywords it's going to cost you a lot of money if your ads is showing up to a lot of irrelevant searchers. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this teaches you what I go through. I mean, I go through a lot more, but this is kind of like a really good strong foundations to what I go through for to optimizing a Google campaign. All right, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video if you guys want to see more. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these audits, and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, peace.